Hello, this is Bonnie, and today I'm just going to do a quick little fall car autumn. And these are the colors I'm using from Distress Oxide, Mustard Seed, Crushed Olive, and Wild Honey. And these are the stamps I'm going to be using from Fairy Hugs. This one is called Cuddles and Fluffy, and this one is called Skinny Bear Tree. And it's the short version. There's also a taller version. And I'm going to be just using a piece of white heavy, it's kind of a heavy stock cardstock, that's what you call it, and it's cut at 5.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all set up in my stamping platform, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have this all set up. I am going to be stamping this tree and VersaFine Clear pine cone. I want my tree to have a brown base. This is, I have many favorite trees in Fairy Hugs. This is one that I think people often overlook because of the versatility of what you can do to this to make it seasonal if you want to, or just to make it, as it's called, a bear tree. Yeah, I need to add a little bit more to the center. I'm using more of a porous type of paper, so it soaks in really quickly. Okay, that looks great. And then the next thing I'm going to do is add this cute little bunny to the side. And yeah, I want the smaller one. And I am going to be using, let's go with my finger there. Of course not. Okay, I am going to be using VersaFine Clear Morning Mist. And this goes really quickly in terms of stamping. Okay. I'm going to stamp that one more time, I think, just a little bit more. Just a little bit more ink. I just didn't want it as dark as a nocturne. All right, so the next step is going to be doing some stenciling. Okay, so for the stenciling, I'm using Fairy Hugs Magical Dots stencil. And at first I was just going to do all these small dots, but actually I'm going to start with doing the larger dots, and I'm going to be kind of specific in a way. I am actually using a Lisa Horton stencil brush because I like that it's smaller, and that's going to work well for me. So I'm just going to go in here, and I'm just going to do the bottom part of these larger circles. I'm going to be very fussy about what I'm picking. And I'm just going to get the bottom parts of these. I'm going to add a little bit more to the bottom, because I'm going to call these, they're circles, but I'm calling them leaves. All right, I am going to go, I think that one's a little bit too big. All right, so I'm not going to move that, and I'm going to come back in and add a little bit of another green. And that green is going to be one I did not pick out. It is going to be Shabby Shutters. And that is going to go on the top. I'm going to use the same brush, have a little bit of mixture, and I'm going to go on the top because it's a little bit lighter. Get a little bit of this off. It's a tad bit lighter, not a whole lot, but it's a little bit of a different color. Oh, that looked a little darker there. All right, so make sure I got the ones I just did. I think I did. All right, so that's kind of like in the background there. Then I'm just going to shift this over, and I'm going to do that part again. I'm going to start with the crushed olive, and I'm going to find some of the spots I haven't done and just do the bottom part. Whoops. I think I do that one. Trying to see if there's anything else I like. I think that's good. So then I'm gonna use the Shabby Shutters and go to the top. Okay, let's see if I got all those. And I did. Just trying to look to see if there's some more I want to add. I think I'm going to add a couple just randomly over here. Start again. Okay. Let's just look overall and see how that goes. And I think I want, I don't know, I think I want one up here. So I am being extremely fussy about this. Okay, let's look now. All right, I think that's, well, here's one here. Smaller. Okay. Okay, so I've got those that I want in there like that. And then I'm going to pull out the mustard seed, but I'm not going to do the two-tone mustard seed. But I am going to be using a little bit the smaller circles on here. I think, yeah. I'm just going to do the whole smaller circles. And doing that, I'm just going to use my regular size brush. I think we'll be good with that. Okay, that's pretty much the same color as what I have going. So I wasn't really sure how that was going to go, so I'm going to pick up the wild honey because I think that's a little bit darker, and we'll try that. And that's how I kind of like figure when I go to do things. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I'm going to bring that down here, and actually what I'm going to do here is pull some of that ink off instead of adding more ink, because I could pull that right off the stencil and get that to go on. And that looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to add some more over here. And we're going to do some down here. Up there. All right, so we've got those colors. I do still want to have a little bit more of a red cast in there too, I think, to make it more autumn. So I'm going to pick up another ink. Okay, so for this one I'm going to be using the Abandoned Coral. It has more of the hue that I'm looking for, and I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to use the smaller circles again. I'll take a peek. Yeah. I'm trying to see whether or not I want it to be darker than that, because it almost has more of a pink cast. I think I am going to go darker. So I'm going to pull out we're going to try Lumberjack instead. It's a little bit darker, I'm going to go over what I just did. Yep, that's giving me more of a fallish look. Actually, I like both of them. I think I'm going to do a little bit of both. Yeah, I like both. Let's take a look. Yeah. Okay. I think I really like that look. So now I'm just going to take, I think I'm going to take the green crushed olive, and what I have on my brush, I'm just going to go over this whole thing and just give it more of a blended in look. Yeah. And that we're going to get that look for the tree. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of each of what we just used. Well, not everything. I'm going to use the abandoned coral. I'm going to use the wild honey and the crushed olive. And what I'm going to do is just very lightly, I'll show you, I'm going to move this over. I'm going to very lightly use my medium pad here. And I'm just going to put just a tad bit down. Okay. And I am going to take, this is a, I don't know, I want to say a very hard bristle brush. And I am just going to mist that slightly. And I'm just going to come across the bottom part here. Trying to get this a little bit under the bunny and by the tree. So then the other thing I'm going to do is I am going to be using a little bit of the wild honey, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to have a teeny tiny bit, mist that, just a tiny bit. I'm just going to kind of like, again, it's very, very subtle against the green, but I'm just kind of tapping it in there. All right, and then the last one I'm going to use a little bit of the abandoned coral. All right, same thing, mist that little bit, and then add that. Well, this is kind of mixed in with that color. And pull up that green a little bit more. Probably should wait till this dries so it doesn't mix as much, but okay. So now what I'm going to do, because we know that our stamps are they resist water, so I'm going to use my mister, and I'm just going to mist this just a little bit. Because I want those colors to just get a little bit of so that gives it a little bit of settle. And because this is still a little bit wet, I'm going to use a brush that I haven't used. Actually, I think I'm going to use the, I'm going to use my blending brush. Here we go. We're gonna let that dry and see what else we need to add to that. Okay, so as it was drying, I picked up what was left over here that I used down below and just put it all over the card. I put a little bit more green because I'm going to add a little bit more green to the center of the tree. I can kind of see through it because of what I've been working on, so I can kind of see where I want to sort of dab into that and add. See if it even makes a difference. It's not going to make too much of a difference, just making it a little bit darker. So you can see how that's just added a little bit more to it, a little bit of the dots. That works great. So that's going to be kind of like our fall card. I'm going to wait till this dries a little bit more and probably add some more to the side. Maybe, I don't know, I might use another stencil in here. I haven't quite decided yet. I always like to do things that are kind of like as I do them, and it can give you ideas whether or not that's what you want to do. So I think I am going to let this dry a little bit, and then I'm going to add a little bit of a different stencil to the outside. Okay, so for the background, I'm using Winter Twigs, Fairy Hugs Winter Twigs stencil, and I'm going to be using Lost Shadow because I just really want a shadow like in the background just to fill in some of the white space. And I'm going to be kind of being careful. I don't care that it comes down, but I don't want it to go over the bunny. So, and it's really nothing more than like a shadow. And I did make sure that this was all dry before I started doing this. I could take a little peek to see how that's going. Yeah, it's got plenty of the like I said, I don't really want it going over the bunny, but I don't mind it being behind the bunny. It's not going to really go through the trees either because it's going to be behind. I can still take a little peek. Yeah, it's just very light. Okay. We'll get some up here. Okay, let's take a little peek. I think that's going to work. I think I want a little bit more right there. And I can see I need more up here. Okay, well, let's add just a little bit more right there, I think. Okay, that gives us the subtle look behind. I think I'll probably be able to use, I think I can probably get a little bit of that off, probably even if I wanted to color that in. I think I could color that in if I want to. I really do like it. Does give the look of fall, and that was what I was trying to do with this card. All right, so I have completed the card, and what I did do is I did color in the bunny, and I did color in the tree trunk, and then the other thing I did is I actually used the sewing machine and stitched her on the outside. So that is the completed card, and I did mat it and put it on a black card base. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope there was something that could inspire you, and I will have all of the products that I used listed below, and thanks so much for stopping by. I hope to see you again soon.